Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, my name is Chenelle, the owner of 3 Balls Handmade Soaps and More. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I made this milk and honey soap. Alright y'all, so as always, I have everything out on the table that I will be working with for today. And first up, I have some Manuka honey. I also have some buttermilk powder and some coconut milk powder. Now everything else is pretty much the same. I do have my crock pot since this is a hot process soap, but for the most part everything else is pretty much the same. My protective eyewear, scale, gloves, all that good stuff. Now let me go ahead and clean off my table and then we'll get started. First, I started by weighing out my ingredients. Alright, so once I was done weighing out my ingredients, I decided to throw in a little bit of kaolin clay into this recipe. So I went in with just 2 teaspoons of kaolin clay. I also did 2 teaspoons of this coconut milk powder. And I also did 2 teaspoons of the buttermilk powder. So again, I used kaolin clay, coconut milk, and buttermilk for this soap, and I just added them directly into the oils before I added in my water lye solution. And here I am just giving that a stir. Y'all know usually whenever I do these hot processed milk soaps, I tend to add my milk at the end, and it kind of leaves like little specks in the soap. Well, I tried something a little different this time. And as you can see, I still ended up with specks, but I mean, I'm fine with it. I think it still turned out nice. But anyway, so once I was done blending up my kaolin clay and those 2 milks, my buttermilk and coconut milk, it was then time for me to go ahead and add in my water lye solution. After I added in my water lye solution, I just stick blended until I reached trace. Once I reached trace, I just put the lid on and let it cook. Alright, so here we are a few minutes into the cook, and we already have what is called like the champagne stage. The soap is going to go through a few stages: champagne, like an applesauce or a wet mashed potato stage, dry mashed potato stage, and like translucent stage. Now I personally stir mine. Some people don't, they just let it cook. However, I will stir mine, and you will see in every hot process soap video that I make, I tend to stir mine. Now right here I'm just stirring it up again, and this right here, it kind of looks like it was like a wet mashed potato stage. I don't know how well y'all can see that from my camera, but it was still kind of fluffy. So I just stirred it up and put the lid back on for a few more minutes. And just like I said, I check mine. Some people don't. And here I am again checking the soap. And as you can see, the color is definitely starting to change a little bit. So all I do is just stir it up, kind of, you know, scrape the sides a little bit. And then at this point, it was more of like a dry mashed potato. It wasn't as like light and fluffy as it was in the beginning. So yeah, so I just, like I said, stirred it up, scrape the sides. Some people don't like to scrape the sides, but I do. So I just scraped the sides, and again, just put the lid back on. All right, now here we are at our translucent stage. As you can see, it has turned, you know, much darker. The soap is definitely much darker than what it was when we first started out. So, and it's supposed to give like, you know, that translucent look. But yeah, so here I am just stirring it up. And then at this point, I felt like it was time for me to test my paste. So to do that, all I did was just take a little bit of distilled water. And y'all, I apologize about my hand being directly in the way, but all I'm doing is just taking a little bit of water, putting it on my finger, and just touching the top of the soap. A little bit of distilled water, and just touching the top of the soap. Then I got my pH test strip and just stuck that in there, right in that same spot where I put the water. And here I am just putting it up against the chart to see if our soap falls between 8 and 10. And from the looks of it, we did. So that means that our soap is ready. Now right here, I went in with some Manuka honey for this. And all I did was just use 2 teaspoons. So pretty much 1 teaspoon per pound of oils. So, and that's why I did 2. But again, yeah, just 1 teaspoon per pound of oils, and I did 2 here for my total oil weight. All right, so now I'm just trying to get that off my finger. Then I grabbed my spatula and kind of just stirred that up in there. Now, not everybody likes to add their honey at this stage, but I do. So just do whatever works best for you, and, you know, just play around with it. Try it one way. You know, the first time you make it, if you don't like it that way, then you can always try it again. So, and that's what I did with the milk. Usually I add it at trace whenever I make hot process and cold process. But, well, whenever I make the hot process, I add it after the cook. This time I wanted to try it before the cook. So, just play around with it. And like I said, whichever way works best for you, definitely go that route. Now, here I am just making sure that I get this honey stirred up into my soap really well, because honey can be very tricky if you're not careful. All right, so now it was time for me, to put the soap in the mold. All I'm doing is just scooping a little bit out. Once I scoop out enough, I take it and slam it on the table, and then repeat the steps. Y'all, right here, I was just trying to figure out like a better angle so that way y'all could see. But now right here, like I said again, all I do is just scoop a little bit out and literally slam the soap on the table. Like, when I say slam it, I mean I really slam this soap on the table to kind of get it, you know, as I guess, you know, help it to settle or get it to be as smooth as possible, I guess. But and then, like I said, you just repeat the steps until all the soap is in the mold. And if you are finding this video to be somewhat helpful thus far, please consider leaving me a thumbs up. It definitely helps out our channel, and we greatly appreciate it. All right, and y'all know how I like to do the tops of my soap. All I do is just take the spatula and literally just go back and forth. I thought about doing the bubble wrap, but y'all, I do not have the best of luck whenever I try to do the bubble wrap with the hot process soap. For some reason, I can nail it to perfection with cold process, but for some reason, bubble wrap and these hot process soaps don't match. So again, like I said, I just take my spatula and just, like you see me doing right now, I kind of just going along the top to give it like that rough or rugged look. So All right, y'all, so here we are the very next day, and as you can see, the soap did lighten up just a little bit. It pretty much, whenever it was cooking, it was literally going through gel phase then. So whenever we made it to that translucent stage, that was our gel phase. So at that point, once we added it to the mold, pretty much just waiting for it to cool down. So, and then we're here. Now, right here, I'm just taking it out of the soap mold to see, you know, what's what. And y'all, you can kind of see a little bit. I'm assuming that right there was like the milk powder, some of that milk powder that I thought I blended up very well in my oils in the beginning. Definitely right there. Or it could be some of the soap that I scraped off the side. I don't know. Maybe it was some of that. But anyway, either way, the soap still turned out fine. And y'all, look at that. And I did have just a few drag marks right there. So I ended up turning my soap on its side. Here lately, I've been getting drag marks whenever I cut my soaps like this here. Cut them standing straight up. But all right, so here's another one. And y'all, I'm really starting to like the powdered milk. You know how it leaves those specks in the soap. And I think a little bit of honey may not have dissolved all the way down at the bottom of that one, but I kind of like the way that the powdered milk leave the specks in the soap. Y'all let me know what you think down below. Do y'all think that looks pretty cool or what? Let me know down below. And I've used Manuka honey before. I do have a video on that cold process, so I will leave that linked in the description for anyone that wants to make this soap or use Manuka honey in cold process soap. So, but anyway, I'm gonna finish cutting these up and then I will be right back. Alright, so after I was done cutting up my soaps, it was then time for me to put the finishing touches on them. Y'all, my soap stamp will be linked down below. So if you're new to my channel, I love to stamp all of my soaps, and I will have my soap stamp linked in the description. No, I am not sponsored, but I will share where I got my stamp from. Now right here, I'm just taking a piece of saran wrap and placing it in between my soap and my stamp, so that way I don't get any soap in my stamp. And y'all be sure to tune in every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I go live, come chat with me, ask questions, all that good stuff. Again, that's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday. And y'all, just like that, we are all done. Here is our milk and honey soap. Y'all let me know what you think down below. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving me a thumbs up. And if you have not done so already, consider subscribing to our channel. And to all of our wonderful supporters out there, we love and thank you guys so much. And a special thank you to our Soap Chat members, Gina, Andre, and Terry. Thank y'all so much. And until next time, I will see you guys later.